The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audience.
Check. My bad. Check. Yeah. Let's do this again. Today is Monday, July 13th, 2026. This is TTB After Dark, episode 60. I'm your boy, Taryn the Black. Lot of stuff going on today, man. We got some news out from Trump. It's a lot of stuff out of Trump. It's a lot of stuff going on in Iran. We'll talk about that. This Nolan Wells situation is getting crazy and crazier. We'll talk about that. Let's see. More Iran. Oh, I did that twice. All right, cool. We got somebody got a hit out on what's up, Just Jay? Somebody got hit out on our president, man. We want to talk about that. People getting fired from Chili's for not doing pronouns correctly. We'll talk about that. Oh yeah, I know I missed something. And before we get on anything else, hold up. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this real quick. We're going. Oh, come on, don't. All right, cool. So this is the big news of the weekend and of the day. So apparently, by the way, before I go any further, on this channel we don't celebrate anybody's death. Yeah, even if it's somebody that I don't really agree with. Lindsay Graham I agree with him like 80% of the time when it comes to economics and stuff. Some of the war stuff is kind of crazy. Some of the stuff he supported kind of crazy. But Lindsay, he's one of those controversial. He's kind of like Senator McCain. He's like one of these senators that was kind of, you know, kind of like on the left, like it's a good example. Like some of the older oh, I forgot his name. Trent Lott. It's like the Trent Lott. So I think his name was Trent Lott. Some of the older Hillary's. He was like in that class on the, if you want to talk about on the left. So Lindsay is a love-hate relationship. Sometimes he got on my nerves because like he'll be against some type of he'll be against something that like I'm really for, like as in that's dodgy. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh shit! Hold up, y'all. Hold up. I just remember something. Give me a second. Video. Yeah. I need to make this save it all the way. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right. Cool. We good now. Yeah. Back to basics. Yeah. Jakey. I'm not gonna make any suggestions one way or the other. The fuck going on? Okay. All right. Yeah. It's crazy. He had. I know he had. Oh yeah, pre-ed. I know he had heart condition. His dad. He talked about that in his book and everything. But like, so basically, he will meet in Ukraine. That whole situation is crazy, just because of like Putin. I didn't understand why he did that. You know, it's just a lot of stuff going on. I don't understand Ukraine, why they want to be in EU. It's a lot of, like I said, little stuff like that. That's a fucking that's a spider web of bullshit. If you ask me, like a lot of that stuff going on in Ukraine. The whole Ukraine Russia thing in general, it's bad business all across the board, in my opinion. After El's return from Ukraine, brief and sudden illness following reports of cardiac arrest at his home on Capitol Hill. Coincident in a similar 911 call related to a cardiac arrest at Michigan. Yeah, that is crazy. That's very crazy. Let's see how this is the photo he had.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Lindsay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got a little update for you here.
Yeah,
Just tell me when I can talk. But good visit with the president, right?
yeah, I think that we had really a good meeting.
Yeah, I
The
think
mood
so
was
too,
good,
yeah.
and we had some very important results. And I think that the decision of President Trump about licenses, positive signals about Patriot licenses, very important.
Yeah. Let's see. See if there's any more. What's up, Miss Chicago?
Today on
So this is like the most controversial part of this. So if y'all don't know how it works, governors can appoint if there's a case of a death of a senator or somebody been like a controversy been might been impeached, held, some corruption charges going about. The governor can't supposed to be able to appoint a senator. It's just how it works. So this appointment lasts the rest of the term. You know what I'm saying? Until like go through the primary and everything for the next election. This standard operating procedures. So because like technically, how the Constitution used to be, I mean how it was, the House of Representatives selected a congressperson. The state house has a representative, I believe, selected the senator to represent them because every state got 2 senators. That's how it used to be. But I think a couple. I forgot what amendment it was. 22nd or something like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. They changed it so the senator would be a statewide election. But here we go.
Today, under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsay took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
Thank you, Governor, and just bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say one thing I've never heard Lindsay described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsay was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through.
Angela, you know what's weird about you? You say lighter than me, but you over here trying to be goddamn Bobby Seale. You gotta stop, man.
These past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsay's term.
So yeah, that's standard operating procedure, man. Like the governor appoints the senator for the rest of the term just in case when something like that happens, man. Like I know, shout out to Mel Dub. You said you were saying something like about you're kind of against the appointee, but that's been since the founding. That's one of those things that, and like I said, she only doing the rest of this term, which I think the end of Lindsay's term would have been 2028, I believe. Either 2028 or 2030. Let me make sure. Oh, whatever. Let's see. Wait, hold up. Is he up this? I don't think I think he up 2028. Come think about it. I think he up 2028. But yeah, that is, you know, that's that. So it's some big news about to happen on Thursday night. Actually, tomorrow night is gonna be some big news. Secretary of State, I'll talk about that a little later on. But apparently, President Trump Thursday evening speech to the nation will reportedly show newly declassified intelligence reports that reveal a foreign nation's plan to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. The president will reportedly be joined by CIA Director John Ratcliffe, acting DNI, Bill, Pote, FBI Director Kash Patel, and DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. So there's about to be some shit going on Thursday. Then tomorrow, I'll just let it play.
Meeting with hundreds of top generals and admirals from around the world. Military sources telling Fox News that this is set for Tuesday at a Marine base in Virginia. Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin reporting live from the Pentagon. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Martha. The meeting, first reported by the Washington Post, has since been confirmed by Fox News. 800 generals, admirals, and their senior enlisted aides have been ordered from their post around the world to Washington, D.C. to gather in an auditorium at Marine Base Quantico in Virginia on Tuesday. The officers have not been told what the meeting is about. The invitation has sent shockwaves through an already fearful officer corps who have been on the receiving end of angry outbursts by Secretary Hegseth, who routinely threatens to submit them to polygraphs. Some express concerns that bringing all the military brass to one location in D.C. is an unnecessary security risk and question why the meeting cannot be held on a secure video teleconference call, especially at a time of rising global threats and cost cutting as the government faces a possible shutdown. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell confirmed the meeting, but gave no details other than Secretary Hegseth, quote, will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week. Secretary Hegseth has fired without explanation nearly 22 officers, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General C.Q. Brown, the chief of naval operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, Coast Guard Commandant Admiral Linda Fagan, Air Force Vice Chief of Staff, General James Slife. Last month, Secretary Hegseth fired Defense Intelligence Agency Director Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz, Navy Reserve Chief Vice Admiral Nancy LaCour, and Naval Special Warfare Command Head Rear Admiral Milton Sands, the head of the Navy SEALs. Many of those fired, Martha, by the secretary have been women. The scant details about this meeting's agenda have many fearing a further purge. Martha?
Yeah, there's some shit going on. They'll wait to see what's going on with that. So and speaking of all that, with all that being said, hey, Trump, hey, I said last week, I want to say last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday, he going on a rampage in Iran, man. He is not playing with them at all. Like he's like, look, y'all ain't trying to negotiate. So this is like a systematic, just getting rid of the enemy right now, man. Like you hear this. This is crazy. So we've been bombing Iran. We've been bombing Iran for like months now, but like since the ceasefire, we've been going hard on them ever since I last talked about it. Like every day, there's something, some other news. It's crazy right now, but hey, unfortunately, with how that regime is, short of boots on the ground, which would probably be a mistake. And by the way, I've been hearing stuff about they've been rioting over there too. So like I'm talking about the citizens, they finally standing up against them. So hey, let's see what's going on.
Fox News alert, we're bombing Iran for the third straight night, and oil sanctions and the blockade back on.
We're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years. and we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens. But we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back. And it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them.
Iran violated the terms of the deal. They agreed in writing not to attack tankers in the Strait and not to charge tolls. This deal was a test, and they failed. So Iran now...
Yeah, they've been attacking ships ever since, like, about 2 weeks ago. They've been going hard attacking these ships. So this is why Trump went this route. So yeah, let's go.
Claims the strait's closed. It's not. The United States, just like we did with Operation Freedom, is ushering ships through the southern part of the strait. Every country's vessels can get in and out if they want to, except now for Iran's. Since America doesn't need the oil, the world does, the president floating a freedom toll.
A freedom
I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping.
No more love taps. Trump says it's time for bitch slaps.
Ooh.
We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday or the day before. Yesterday was all done. And then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing.
So while commercial traffic's being protected by an American security umbrella, at the same time, CENTCOM launching 3 straight nights of devastating airstrikes against enemy targets on the coastline, 140 targets to be exact, coming from fighter jets, naval ships, and one-way attack drones, hitting their air defense systems, radar sites, missile and drone sites, and the Mosquito fleet. And for the first time ever, we deployed one-way attack sea drones. 3 Corsair unmanned sea drones were sent to one of Iran's most crucial ports, Bandar Abbas Naval Base.
That's crazy.
The sea drones picked off an Iranian submarine, 24-foot speedboats, basically, and they can carry 1,000 pounds on board. They're made in Texas, $1 million a pop. So they were also used to save our boys on that Apache that went down a few weeks back, remember? And that's not...
So another thing, I noticed for a fact we've been attacking their nuclear facilities, like they nuclear powered, like to power the country. And then we've been attacking the IRGC base. They that to waste. I think I showed something about that last week.
The only thing in the water. We have 2 aircraft carriers in theater, the Lincoln and the George H.W. Bush. They come strapped with F-35 stealth fighter jets and Super Hornets. 15 destroyers also operating close by. We still have about 10 to 15% of enemy targets that still have yet to be hit. Not because we couldn't hit them, but because we decided to show a little mercy and cut a deal. But the Iranians, they violated it. Why? Well, the decapitation strikes at the start of the war were so successful, we completely fractured the Iranian leadership. And now it's clear that the politicians who signed this memorandum of understanding didn't have the clout to enforce it.
Yep.
The military faction, they don't want peace, and they see their power slipping away.
So they're talking about the military faction of the IRGC. That's their political, that's kind of like a ruling political party. Similar to how like the communist runs like whatever the communist country is. Or like the Nazis back in Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? That's how their country works. Like the theocrats run that country. The party that supports them and everything. So it's a theocracy. Let's read.
They don't want us to come get the dust. They don't want to make a deal with the devil. And they're broke. And they only have one card left to play. And that's terrorism. Yep. Firing on unarmed commercial ships. Firing missiles indiscriminately at their neighbors. The president's probably considering another round of decapitation strikes, and we have the intel, sources on the ground and eyes in the sky. We know where everybody is, even the gay Ayatollah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They misbehave, pain. That's why we structured the deal like this. The president's had enough.
We're going to take out Pickaxe Mountain. Tell the Iranians to be ready.
I will.
Let them know we're coming, okay? There's not a damn thing they can do about it.
Pickaxe Mountain is where U.S. intelligence believes the enemy was going to move their enriched uranium at the start of the war.
Yep.
Now Trump's threatening the kill shot. And their crown jewels on the table. Here's former CENTCOM General Frank McKenzie.
Seizing Cargill, and should we elect to do that? And I would just say as an aside, that's something we should think about doing, because possession of Iranian soil would be a significant factor in future negotiations with Iran.
Today, oil closed in the high 70s, still down from 120 at the start of this. Gas prices have fallen considerably since spring high.
So the reason it's falling down, like the gas price falling down, because they can't really stop the oil from getting out of the strait anymore. So if y'all don't know, like WWE literally had an event a couple of weeks ago in Riyadh. So that should tell you the security, what they think of the security measures. I mean, the capabilities of Iran right now. Saudi shouldn't be, and the Gulf states in Saudi, they actually helping out right now. So it's crazy. So it's all this stuff is going to be interesting. And speaking of all that, we got so apparently the New York Times published an Air Force One classified defense detail the other day. So things are getting wild. Like New York Times, like this story shouldn't even be out, but let's see what you got to say.
The FBI asked them not to do it, but they did it anyway. Just before the president departed Ankara, the New York Times leaked classified information about Air Force One's self-defense capabilities, and they ran it at a moment of renewed hostilities with Iran and renewed threats to the president. On July 11th, the Department of Justice issued subpoenas to the 4 authors of that Times article. The DOJ made clear that it's looking for the source of the leak, and the leak of that classified information impacted national security. The real question is this: throughout our nation's history, who benefits from eliminating American presidents? And today, what has those forces in full panic mode? I'm Susan Kokinda, and by the end of this video, I'm going to show you what this administration is doing that have made the stakes higher than they've been in over 100 years. Here's what I'm covering. First, the pattern behind the Air Force One leak. Second, the policy behind that pattern, and why neither Mark Levin nor the Washington Post like it. And third, how the loss of that policy has compromised our national security and how this administration is rebuilding it. So the New York Times reporters have been subpoenaed to testify before a federal grand jury in Manhattan on Wednesday, July 15th. The subpoenas were issued by Jay Clayton, the U.S. attorney in Manhattan.
Excuse me, y'all.
Now, Clayton is clearly not a lightweight. President Trump has recently nominated him to become the new director of national intelligence.
That's Tulsi Gabbard's last position.
And his confirmation hearing is scheduled for the same day that the reporters have been ordered to appear in court. So as this plays out, the narrative is already being framed. On the one side, you'll have those wrapping the New York Times and its reporters in the First Amendment. On the other side are the justified charges that the New York Times is fake news, it was an integral part of the first-term coup attempt, and it is just terminally anti-Trump. But there's something much deeper going on here. Aside from the WHO involved in the Air Force One leak, a leak which clearly threatened the security of the President of the United States, the more important question is the why. Now,
See what's so crazy about it? Like, if you had that leak, that means there's other leaks out there that might affect other Congress people, Democrat or Republican. So it's kind of crazy that leak even came out. Let's read.
Trump himself named it over 2 months ago in the wake of the armed attack on the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which he and much of his cabinet were attending. He was asked by a reporter why he thinks this keeps happening to him.
Well, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way.
If we want to talk about our leaders, I mean, just name all them. It's funny, all the male leaders in our community get taken out, except for the ones that take the deal or whatever. Just an observation,
And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names here, the big names.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
The president told you that there's a pattern, and he named one of the big names, Abraham Lincoln. 36 years later, another big name, William McKinley, was assassinated. Those two presidents bookended the 19th century American system revival. Lincoln launched it, McKinley perfected it, and both paid for it. Donald Trump is now reviving it again, by name and in practice. Understanding that is going to give you the basis to get above the head.
Who else is causing these that Oh yeah, definitely. They need to be out of there. You dead on right about that.
Lines. And if you want the real storyline, the one they've spent 100 years over the past 100 is in the description. Over the past 100 years, by the establishment media like the New York Times, the schools, and the think tanks. Abraham Lincoln and William McKinley were a threat to the British Empire because they embraced the system that made our country the most powerful in the world, the American system of Alexander Hamilton. And on the 4th of July, President Trump said it out loud in addressing the challenge of another system, communism.
Communism is a loser, and it always will be. The communist system is the opposite
I was
of
listening
the
to this before we
American
went to go see
system,
the
and
fireworks.
The communist system has never worked.
Did you catch that? He said the American system. And that wasn't a one-off by the president. He said the American
system is the opposite of the American system, and the communist system has never worked.
Did you catch that?
Yep.
He said the American system. And that wasn't a one-off by the president. His team has been openly giving speeches about Hamilton and the American system for months now. And most recently, Vice President J.D. Vance threw down the gauntlet in terms of what the American system is replacing. The vice president went on the Michael Knowles show, and he said the quiet part out loud. He said the economics of the American right are now much more Alexander Hamilton than Milton Friedman. And he called that Hamiltonian tradition the future of American conservatism.
And Milton,
well, the free market establishment lost its mind in attacking Hamilton. Mark Levin jumped in to Milton Friedman's defense. He said, President Reagan was a great admirer and friend of Milton Friedman. He often sought his input on economic policies. And then he attacked Hamilton as socialism light. The so-called nationalist populists are more socialist light than capitalist and Republican. And then he said he was looking forward to the debate. Well,
I want
so
to
are
hear
we.
this one. Yeah, I want to see
Because
this.
here's where it gets even more interesting. Other free market defenders came at the argument from exactly the opposite side. The president of the Club for Growth, David McIntosh, told the vice president flat out that he was dead wrong, insisting instead that Hamilton was really a free marketeer all along. So the free market defenders can't even agree on what Hamilton was. Levin calls him socialist light. McIntosh says he was really a free marketer. They're arguing about which box to put Hamilton in. Meanwhile, on the left, the Washington Post is having its own problems. The Washington Post data.
I'll stop on that. I wonder, I need a refresh on the Hamiltonian. I know Milton Friedman like the back of my hand, but the Hamiltonian economic system. Let's see. All right, we're going here. I'm just using AI overview. Hamiltonian economic system is an early American framework of economic nationalism champion. Oh, so they call it. They're gonna probably call it protectionism. Designed to liberate the U.S. from European dependence, it features three main pillars of federal assumption of revolutionary war debts. Oh, creation of national bank and protective terror. Ah, I see. I see. See, public credit, having a federal government assumes state and national debt by paying off these debt, standard low interest treasury bond. That's already been in place. National banking, he chartered the first bank of the United States, modeled after the Bank of England. It standardized currency, safely managed government funds, and by promotion. Oh, okay. All right, I get it now. I see why. See, because the tariffs. See, the tariffs was a way to pay for everything and take away. We never had to have like an income tax. That's the whole point of that. And National Bank is, that'd be the economic policy for like solve debt issues. So right now, like they not spending went so crazy. So in Trump's eyes, he's like, hey, let's go ahead and go back to the old system so we can balance this budget right, use the tariffs because we won't have the economic power to do so. And get people back to work, get I see his point of that. Because in the same time when spending wasn't this out of control and stuff, free market would have actually been working, especially if you got an enemy like the Soviet Union right there. So the whole point of having a free market solution was to make it that you could get as many countries on a successful path economically, right? And then okay, you could join with them with like the militaries. You have bases there and everything. Yeah, I get that point, but now we don't necessarily have a Soviet Union type of power that we have in a worldly struggle with, lack of better terms. So I get why Mark Levin and all of them are like freaking out because like protectionism and isolate and they equate protectionism with isolation ism, like yeah, I get that. But then again, we got to get this stuff back on track. You know what I'm saying? Us being the world police, we need to get some type of balance, I should say.
David Lynch published a piece on Sunday with this headline: Trump attacks communists. Both want a bigger government role in the economy. Now, the problem that Lynch is having, and this apparent paradox,
David Lynch,
is what happens when you live in a world of the past century, where the American system was eliminated, and your only two choices are big government socialism versus little government or no government free market. So in that world, if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Scott Bessent want to use the powers of the federal government to protect and advance industry, and with it, the wages and living standards of American workers, the only thing Lynch can compare it to is socialism. Well, before joining the Washington Post, Lynch reported for Britain's Financial Times, a paper that's been preaching free trade from the City of London for almost 100.
So free trade, see, because when you have the Soviet Union as a big bad guy, right? You do free trade. The biggest group that's going to benefit from free trade is the European powers, because like we need them because they're gonna be the essential front line of they're gonna be essentially the front line if any war happened with the Soviet Union. So you kind of need to have them up to par, have our bases there, have them start developing their own thing. See, then the downside of that, because they had free trade, they didn't have to compete really in the marketplace when it comes to economic marketplace, I should say. So that's when the healthcare stuff started popping up, the nationalized healthcare, so they don't have to pay for the military, don't have to compete economically with everybody. So now they can put all their resources in in a national healthcare system. That's why they're able to have it. See, because if we didn't do the brunt, because like basically our income tax is, when we pay income tax, it's going everywhere. It's here. Once it get the State Department, it's going to every country in the goddamn world. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. That's the negative part of the income tax. Because like at one point, when we were paying tariffs, I mean, that's the richest person in the country would have been the person who running the port, running the tariffs officer and stuff. They gonna get all the bread back in the gap. But the thing is, there was some inequalities, like of course, like the whole like free slave thing, Jim Crow, which is a Democrat creation. I mean, if y'all don't believe me, read Frederick Douglass autobiography. He'll tell you what they were doing. All that's part of why we don't really have a connection with how that world is, because we always get reminded of the racist past and everything. But if you go look back in the late 1800s, so like, hey, we were getting black folks buying land left and right. You know what I'm saying? Some people got good land, some people got bad land, but we made it work. So it's a big old can of wax. Let's read.
140 years. And ignoring the American system has been part of their business model. Because that empire wants you trapped in their binary world of free market versus communism.
Yep.
It's a world that keeps Americans stupid and susceptible to the policies that have gutted our economic and national security over the past decades.
Mm-hmm.
The president, the vice president, the Treasury Secretary, and the rest of the team have broken that trap, and they've brought back to life a system that will restore our sovereignty and strength. And it is that system which is being put into action that places American presidents in the crosshairs. So here's the part they really don't want you to see: the disastrous effect of free trade policies on our economy and on our national security.
Yep.
Not in academic debates about money flows, but in empty welding bays with nobody standing in them. Friedman's free trade didn't just offshore cheap consumer goods. It offshored the productive muscle of our country, the skilled trades, the manufacturing, the workforce Hamilton's tariffs were built to protect.
And this goes back to Cape of Man situation, trade and coding, salute to KB, that situation. It's being skilled. See, because my granddaddy, both sides, they were highly skilled. Like my granddaddy on my father's side only had like an 8th grade education, but he created 2 successful businesses. You know what I'm saying? My other grandfather, like he fought. He was older. He fought in World War II and everything. He was highly skilled. You know what I'm saying? And he taught a lot of us how to do a lot of stuff. And that is the way it is. They knew they were very capable of doing things. So when you don't gut the middle class or gut the working class, and you don't give them the incentive to learn. I ain't gonna say incentive. That's the wrong term. You don't. If there's no path forward of being highly skilled and stuff, without high tuition costs and all this stuff. People they went and learned this stuff on the job and then become highly skilled at that job. It wasn't necessarily you had apprenticeships and everything, but it wasn't necessarily you had to go to college for some of the trades and stuff you learned. So that made a group of people that was not that could tell you no if you try to play with them and their money. So they're gonna be highly qualified, skill wise to move around or make something at themselves without like a job, a boss or whatever.
In the first place. And decades later, the bill has come due. And it's come due in the one place a nation cannot afford to be hollow, in defense industrial production.
Yep.
Listen to the dirty jobs guy, Mike Rowe, talk about the problem in an interview with J.D. Vance.
I mean, for every 5 tradespeople who retire, like the one you just described, 2 replace them.
Yep.
And it's been that way 11, 12 years. So the math ain't great. Look, we need some sort of national effort to reinvigorate the trades.
Yes.
I don't think the solution is .gov.
Y'all hear that? It's better be a big push to get more trading. People to be part of the trades. And that's a market solution right there. Like I'm gonna let's stop right here and let me tell you what's going on in the tech market, right? Because there's a situation in the tech world where even if you know how to code and stuff, you might not have anywhere to really work at because of how advanced these AI models are becoming. It's gonna be you ain't gonna need a lot of stuff to know to get that working. So man, I got the hiccups now. There's a lot of things are changing, and I'm just letting you know that a lot of things are changing. So people, we gonna need plumbers. We gonna need like people to work on cars just in case the AI the technology doesn't work. It's gonna be a influx of people, doing stuff with air conditioners and stuff like that because we do got air conditioners. We're not Great Britain or France. So I mean, hands-on stuff we're gonna need a lot of because AI can't do that yet. I mean, they're not capable of doing that yet. Now, some cases, yeah, but overall, not overall. I should keep on going out. That's why I keep on looking at it. Anyway, that's Reed.
The end, but I don't think there's a solution without you guys.
Agreed.
Well, 15 years later, your Department of War called me. And I don't know if you've been read into this thing entirely, but the new campaign, they basically said yes to what I pitched 15 years ago. It's called Build Freedom. I mean, when they tell me they need 400,000 welders and electricians for our subs, and when they tell me that the new infrastructure build out is 10 trillion and the need for electricians and data centers, dude, the math ain't mathin'.
400,000 welders and electricians for the submarines alone. That's not a labor shortage. That's a country that forgot how to build the things that keeps it alive. The math ain't math because for decades, the people running our economy told us the real economy didn't matter, just the markets. Let someone else build it cheaper overseas, ship the jobs out, and call it efficiency. Now, remember Mark Levin, the man who called Hamilton a socialist? He's also one of the loudest voices in America for military strength and confronting Iran. And when he makes that case, he reaches for 2 names, Ronald Reagan and Milton Friedman. Well, that doesn't hold up. Reagan didn't build the strongest military on earth on free trade policies. When foreign imports threatened American factories, Reagan used tariffs and other government tools to protect semiconductors, steel, and machine tools.
She's right on
all
that.
critical elements of a defense industrial base.
Because the thing is, our economic policy is pretty much a mixed bag. It depends on the president. That's why you need to learn us in general need to just understand policy, understand where is a conservative at? Is a conservative what the media call them, or is there like pillars and understanding of that ideology, like the rugged individualism, small limited government, you know what I'm saying? Free market ideas, not all free market, not just lots of fair economy type shit, but more of like, okay, let's move the government out the way and a lot of stuff. Let's have some regulation, but not overbearing regulation. Not you can't fucking put a goddamn chair. You can't put a. Let me make a good example. You can't build a dock on this lake because of the smell. Some bullshit. Like you need a dock on this lake so you can get on the real. The lake is intertwined with a river, not intertwined, but like the out it goes to whatever you might need to be able to get to that to the port or whatever. Like if you're going to the ocean or whatever. There's regulation in some places like where there's a smelt there. Smelt is a type of fish or whatever. That's it's not in danger, but you just don't want to interfere with that type of shit. So it fucks up economic stuff. Then it's a time and place. Sometimes like if it's a danger species, you want to kind of protect that, but some of the stuff gets stupid.
And Friedman, that free trade doctrine is the exact doctrine that emptied these welding bays. It's the reason we could be 400,000 welders and electricians short. Well, here's the bill, and here's who's finally paying it. The War Department just put $10 million into Mike Rhodes Foundation to rebuild the skilled trades pipeline from the ground up.
Trading and coding. This is they literally doing it right now.
By state, starting in
KB, if you in the bushes, they actually doing what you said 5 years or 6 years ago.
Texas, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. There are 7 million open positions and a plan to fill them with Americans who can make things again. They call it Build Freedom. And that name tells you everything. Levin calls Hamilton a socialist. Vance calls Hamilton the future. And the Pentagon just put $10 million into the future. So come back to that Air Force One leak and come back to the question that the reporter asked the president after the correspondence dinner attack. Why you? And the answer lies here. The American system isn't just embraced by this administration. It's being acted on for the first time since William McKinley. That was 175 years ago. Nobody watching this has been alive to see this system threaten the empire on every front all at once. Well, now it's back, named on the 4th of July, protected by tariffs, and funded by the Pentagon. And at that exact moment, someone handed the New York Times classified information about the president's plane, and the Times ran it after the FBI asked them not to. So ask who benefits from that, and why are they more afraid now than they've been in a century? Well, you now know the answer. But if you want to know more and be part of this fight, go to Promethean Action and join us as a contributing member.
Salute to you. Yeah, man. Shit, I was drop some fucking gems. So yeah, I think we need to that's all that makes sense. I think we need a transition, man. We need a good transition. Where is it? A man says he was fired from Chili's in Louisiana for calling a female by her actual name and not using, quote, they them pronouns. I am not participating in this shit anymore. Okay. You know what? Let's just hear what you guys say.
I just want to thank everybody for reaching out. All of the comments, the messages, everyone tagging your lawyer friends, sending me messages. I I appreciate it. This is a really weird time. I did not wake up this morning, expecting to be a warrior in this culture war fight. But, God puts us in positions that we don't really understand at the time. But one thing I know is that I'm not gonna let this go. This is wrong. This is an injustice. This is flat out bullshit that anybody even has to put up with this at work, much less get fired for doing nothing other than calling their coworker by their government name. I have never been fired from a job ever in my life before.
It's crazy happening. It happened in Louisiana. That's pretty crazy there.
Never been asked to quit, resign. I have never been asked to resign. I've never quit, been fired, period, ever. I've never been written up at a job. I have never been reprimanded, disciplined at any job. I have no disciplinary record at any job. And I got fired for the first time today from Chili's for doing the high crime of calling my coworker, whose name is Madeline, by her name, which is Madeline, and not referring to her as her chosen name, which is Fish. F-I-S.
She did not want to be named Madeline. She want to be named Fish. And we supposed to participate with this. Let's read.
Sage Fish. I'm too old to. I'm just getting too old to. And I'm at a point in my life where like I'm not participating in that shit anymore. Like I don't care. I'll put my foot down, and I'm just not participating in it. And nobody can make me. Nobody's gonna shame me into participating in it. You're not gonna force me by controlling my money. You're not. Oh, you'll never get another job. People are telling me, oh, I'm never gonna get another job because of. You will never shame me or force me into changing who the fuck I am.
Salute to that. That's crazy. That's insane. And if you read around, he was creating a hostile workplace. So their legal name was Fish. Everybody trying to make excuses for this bullshit. Yeah, it's a little crazy, man. Like, what's the all right, that's just crazy. And this went viral. So this James Franco will just release this video looking like a different man, according to fans, as he claimed powerful people have been trying to silence him and shut him down, prevent him from releasing this footage of what appears to portray an alien visiting his home on security footage. His comments is really, I ain't gonna go through this. I'm gonna try to see if they show actual. All right. Let's go.
Wanted it, here it is. Behind what I'm saying, right? And I felt like I owed it to you, to the people that are following me and are, trusting that I in fact am, I have material behind what I'm saying, right? I'm putting my money where my mouth is or whatever. Okay, enough. Here we go. 713. You wanted it, here it is. I delivered.
The fuck? Come on, man. I don't know about that. I don't think Hollywood's doing okay today, man. You like somebody trolling you, man. What is going on? All right. Y'all got me. Now, here's the Hollywood ain't doing. This woman claims Hollywood actor Shia LaBeouf randomly walk up to her car, accuse her of stalking him, and come up to his house. He demanded her to stop. Hold up, I gotta see this shit.
God bless you. Hi. How are you? Hey, you're scaring my dad. You're scaring my people. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? God bless you. Leave me alone. Alone.
That's weird. So, all right, we're gonna transition again. That was a little crazy. So, all right, we don't have all the information to this case. I'm gonna put all the disclaimers real quick. My theory, off the top of my head, is just my instinct. Nothing's concrete on this and everything. I feel like whoever, by the way, you live on a rock. This is the Nolan Wells story I'm referring to. If you know what, let's read this because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of misinformation. I don't know which one it is. Because until trial happens, until we actually know what's going on, if anybody get charged or whatnot, that's when I know something, it's real. This is a real situation, but I'm saying as in being some type of situation when it comes to like a murder trial. So that's why I'm reading. Let's read.
There are two new photos that are circulating around the internet involving the Nolan Wells case. The first one is this one right here, where allegedly Nolan Wells is seen in the background, and supposedly this was taken on the night he went missing and was posted on Instagram by one of his friends, but then he immediately took it down. Now, keep in mind, this photo was posted by Ben Crump. Now, it was from the community, but obviously he's putting a lot of these stories on a bigger platform. The next screenshot is coming from a woman named Kim Brawley, and someone with the name of White Lotus Living left a pretty damning comment, if true. She's alleging that the boat was cleaned at 3 a.m. 3 days ago. All of this information is coming from the Instagram of Ben Crump, which, look, none of this is verified, and I'm going to get to the bottom of these two photos in this video.
I'm Kimberly. I'm a former law professor with a JD LLM, a musical artist, a comedian. Okay, now this raises some alarms. I don't know if this is true, but I've just read that they...
Okay, so the allegations are coming from this Instagram account, and pretty much they're saying that the boat that Nolan Wells was last seen in was actually seen being cleaned in front of Judge Cole's house at 3 a.m., which would be obviously super suspicious if it was happening. So I took it upon myself to see who White Lotus Living is. How would they know this information that not a lot of us know about yet? White Lotus is a small business, and they use their Instagram account for advertising. And after looking them up, you can see that White Lotus Living is an Australian store specializing in wellness, spiritual, and home lifestyle. They sell things like crystals, crystal healing kits, sacred smudge kits, etc. At first I thought, why would a person in Australia know anything about things that are going on in Mississippi? And then I thought, well, maybe the domain is just registered in Australia, right? You see this all the time, especially with drop shipping. And then I looked at their reels and realized that, oh, they're actually doing a in-person showing of their merchandise. And the location is in Kirribilli. And Kirribilli is a place in Australia. Now, why would someone in Australia know anything about what's going on in Mississippi, especially intimate details like that? Or maybe this person just knows that the people that are dumb enough to believe random comments on the internet are probably dumb enough to buy their gems and crystals and those sorts of things, and they're probably just doing a little bit of advertising.
Tell you sisters and brothers, it is the right thing for us.
I'm sorry you had to see that. I just thought it was funny and weird that an attorney is posting hype reels of himself on his Instagram account. Okay.
That's it. That's crazy. I didn't know you doing hype reels. That's crazy.
Okay, so back to the photo that was posted by Ben Crump that allegedly depicts Nolan Wells in the background in the pool with people on the night he allegedly went missing. Now, they're alleging that this picture was deleted by one of Nolan's friends once, I guess, they found out he went missing. Now, in today's age, it's hard to tell what picture is legit and not, but I still plugged it into Grok Super just in case. And it said that the picture looks mostly real, but has some suspicious elements worth noting, especially the areas you circled in red. Now, I didn't circle anything in red. This is how the picture was put online. Lighting and water glow. The underwater pool lighting creates a strong greenish blue glow on people in the foreground, which is common in night pool photos. However, the transition and how it hits some bodies and faces feels a bit inconsistent or overly uniform in spots. And yeah, I agree. And just look at the way that Nolan's actually looking back at the camera, allegedly, right? It is kind of suspicious. And why is everyone else up close to the camera for the picture? Why do the people in the background, why are they off doing their own thing? Look at the colors between the water, green and blue. I don't know. It doesn't look like a super authentic picture to me. It could be. We just don't know. Remember, a lot of these photos and videos are being amplified by Ben Crump, and he has the money and power to defend himself just in case he gets hit with a defamation case. Because what happens when this case resolves if these kids are found innocent? We don't know, but if they are, they're going to be going after a lot of people that have been spreading these lies and rumors about them murdering their friend.
This is why I don't know what happened. My gut feeling is it's two things. Either he I see the path to go with the other one, but if he got any altercation, it might be something with that chick. And somebody she know or whatever. That's my gut feeling. I don't have nothing concrete to say in it. That's all allegedly. I'm just in my head, like theorizing, process elimination, like, if you on an island, if like an ex or somebody around, and anything like that could happen. But I'm gonna wait to really get into this. I'm waiting till actually we have more evidence, but because it's just an inkling I have. I don't have nothing concrete with that. But hey, I'll talk more about this tomorrow when more information come out. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I'm tired. I'm dead ass tired. I'm about to go ahead and make a move and everything. Y'all take care. Like, share, subscribe. If y'all watching the replay, please leave a comment, man, so I get in the algorithm. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight, and hold up. Y'all take care.